This resource has been designed as a group multimodal presentation to be undertaken by students during the common module, Text and Human Experiences, for the HSC Standard English course. In relation to the prescribed text, Billy Elliot, directed by Stephen Daldry, I've created this resource as a prerequisite for students to complete prior to watching the film. The task requires students to create a multimodal presentation where they are to explore the internet to find a range of text types that challenge assumptions. To respond to the argument, human experiences can be both unique and universal. Students will then analyse the text, interpret the meaning, and evaluate how the language has been used to shape these representations of challenging assumptions. Throughout the range of texts they had to explore, which included a song, a video, an article, and an image. This task also formally assesses the student's ability to communicate through speaking, listening, reading, writing, viewing, and representing through the method of students presenting the task in a multimodal presentation. Students are required to justify the processes and knowledge they use to find meaning within the text and to use evidence to support their justification. The resource then asks the students to explain to the audience how they made these informed judgments about the meaning conveyed in the text through the context, purpose, structure, dialogue, framing, film techniques, juxtaposition, angles, framing, lighting, word choice, language techniques, setting, context, background, information, etc. The text also requires students to consider and justify the appropriateness of how the text impacts the audience in a particular context and use the evidence to relate how and why it is relevant to our lives. Students will ultimately be justifying and using experts as evidence to support the argument that human experiences can be both universal and unique. Students are required to respond to the argument that human experiences can be both unique and universal through exploring a wide range of texts that challenge assumptions. Through responding to this, students are expressing their unique experiences and how these experiences relate to others and are universal to the world. Students evaluate evidence to make decisions about the texts or sources to explain that human experiences are indeed unique and universal. This resource links to the quality teaching model in a variety of ways. It has been designed with the intention of learning to be deep and meaningful. Through the dimension of intellectual quality, students are required to use a deep understanding of the concept of challenging assumptions to identify sources that represent the concept and invite the audience to see the world differently. Students must interpret and justify their sources to persuade the audience to understand that human experiences can be both unique and universal. The resource also links to the quality learning environment through the element of student self-regulation. As students are placed in groups with the task description sheet and left to their own devices, students must show initiative and demonstrate autonomy to complete the task, as they have the responsibility to complete it within a certain time frame, as they have to present it to their peers. Also, due to this being a group task, students must all play equal roles and contribute fairly, as they will feel pressured to perform for their group members. Due to this factor, minimal teacher attention and disciplining a student's behaviour will be required. This resource not only supports student understanding, but also contains the dimension of significance, the element of connectedness, as the task requires students to connect the lesson activity knowledge to real-life contexts and problems. This will evoke the audience to see human behaviours and experiences in a new perspective, and provides the opportunities for students to share their work with an audience.